Okay, so this is a data pack that I made. You can tell it's a sort of spell adventure data pack. There's more features than just spells, which we'll cover over later, but right now, here are some of the spells. So you have these, and the left side of my screen are the finished spells, and the right side are more of the incomplete spells. We have Scope Blast, which, as you can see, is this. It's like the Warden's Sonic Screech, basically. And it's very powerful. It can one-shot. I mean, it has a pretty long wind up and cool down, as you can see from the bar. Under your crosshair, similar to the hit cooldown, there's a spell cooldown, and it has a pretty long wind up, so it can one-shot most lower level mobs like zombies and skeletons. Stuff like evokers and stuff take a little bit more hits. And then we have, obviously, the evoker's main spell, Summon Fangs. It's like the same power as an Iron Sword, basically. It's a pretty similar cooldown. There's also, I forgot to mention, you can crouch to make it like the close-up evoker spell, which has a little bit longer of cooldown. Evokers, and there's Vindicators, and there's Pillagers in this mod pack that roam around. It's kind of like the Pillager patrols, but it comes with all of the Illagers instead of just the Pillagers. They have a pretty high likelihood of dropping the Summon Fang spell, which will be your first magic. It's like a magic missile, basically. It's your first real spell. Then we have Fireball, which is a pretty weak spell. It's also one of the lower level spells that you can't get it from mob drop, but you can craft it with a flint and steel and a piece of coal. I'll go over the crafting recipes later. This is also a good example of some loot that you can get from any sort of structures. Really, you can get customized loot from the data pack. It turns your fireball from a puny fireball into that kills a lot of things. Well, like just lower level mobs. Again, it's kind of like the Warden's Blast, but you need this helmet to boost its power, or else it's just that. So one of the end spells, it's an end blast. The idea is once you hit, it doesn't do as much damage as the other charge of spells, but once you hit someone with it, they'll teleport around, and it gives them a custom status effect that's also been added by the data pack. You have the Wind Blast, which you can shoot out as a projectile, as you can see. It just lets them blasts them up. You can shoot them together pretty high damage, like that. You can also point it at yourself to the ground to fly up in the air, and it gives you slow falling so that you don't take damage from your own blast. But it's basically like a wind charge, but it's a reusable wind charge. It's a little bit less powerful with the exchange of, and a little bit more costly, but it's reusable. So there's Dragon's Breath, which it's basically like the Dragon Fireball. It deals damage over time, but only after a while. It's sort of like a crowd control move. Another less finished spell is the Warp. Has a pretty substantial cooldown. As you can see from my inventory, there's a lot to go over, so let's get started. We have one of the most basic spells you can make is the Fireball spell. There's the Skulk Blast, which is craftable but with the Skulk Catalyst, so it's kind of expensive. And there's the Wind Blast spell, which takes Wind Charge, a glass of air. Before I just cleared out my whole inventory, here's another thing that you can craft. It's the Inspired Armor Trim, which is basically the foundation of the whole mod pack, or most of the things that you can craft. that's another thing in the data pack that you can tell you get bad omen effect once it gets closer to nighttime. So yeah, you're never really safe. You might get a raid, and we'll see raids later. Uh, and here is one of the robes. So you can craft these using magic flesh, which you get from killing zombies. It's a 1 in 5 chance from killing a zombie with a magic spell that you'll get magic flesh. Before my Minecraft crashed, as I was saying, yeah, you can. This is basically the foundation of the whole magic system. You can make a whole armor set. It has a little bit more durability than iron armor does. So it's like an in between iron armor and diamond armor, but with the same protection as leather armor. But that is because to use the inspired armor trim to give it a gold lacing. As you can see, negative 30% burn time, negative 30% or plus 30% knockback resistance. And the same thing can be said for the trousers, the boots, and the hood. About the same protection as gold, I'd say, but it also protects against magic attacks. So like the evoker spell, the dragon's breath, things like that. These robes will protect you. Okay, I sort of gave myself like all the spells, and gave myself an axe, some interlude, gave myself we'll see how far I get in the raid. We'll test the combat. So, oh my, here he is. Okay, so as you can see, there's an illusioner here, which is not a normal part of regular Minecraft, and he has the evoker fangs. This is sort of not a fair demonstration of. So yeah, this is one of the bosses that I have planned for this as you can see, he has custom moveset. He has the evoker fangs. He has some sort of teleport, anti-teleport move. He has multi-clone move. It's kind of hard to deal with if you're not prepared for it. They will all barrage you with bow shots. And he has range. Oh, he can hide his health bar. Oh my gosh. You can just get blinded like that if you're not fully prepared for what he's capable of. Ooh. Okay. And he also gains speed. He gains movement speed. He has a step up, and he gains movement speed the further you get away from him, so there's no cheesing him. He deals out a lot of damage in a short period of time. He's pretty vulnerable to fire. He's vulnerable to pretty much anything besides the evoker fangs. Yeah, I can't really mess with RNG here because it keeps spawning these spawns. Oh my my gosh. No, but the reward to is very important. Oh. Okay. But yeah, Vindicator's that's unlucky. That's not that's not a mechanic, it's just because it's nighttime, so they spawn more often. I don't know, the illusionary goes invisible with but he's possible to beat if you're used to him. He doesn't do anything with the weather. Something to the weather because he's a boss. He's a boss model. Oh my gosh. Oh barrage. No, but yeah. All the times that he spawns around you has 1 health. So you can sort of just swing and they'll go away. Because they're illusions, obviously. So they'll just go away. And it's really hard to get close because he really doesn't like when you get close. Because he basically, he has skeleton around. He loves just to run away like the evoker. This zombie isn't making much either. And yeah. Did I burn it? I burned the loot. Yeah, that can happen, sadly. Yeah, and he drops a knowledge book. It's needed to craft an enchanting table. And this is, right now, this is the only way you can get an enchanting table in the data pack, because I feel like once you get enchantments, you're basically finished with the game. I'd at least like to make it a little bit more challenging to get before you get to actual tougher bosses and just cheese them all with enchantment. So yeah. Some future plans I have is making the warp teleportation more like an ender pearl, so like giving it drop off at further ranges, so you'll still stick the landing even if you're not really aiming at anything. Another future plan is to make the dragon's breath have a second variation when you're crouching, which is more like think like Elden Ring with the dragon heads or the dragon incantations. It would be sort of like that, like a crowd control sort of breath around you. You just swing around and it's a bunch of breath. And yeah, just add more spells, add some randomly generated structures, add more bosses. Right now I'm working on the Wither. I gave him the dash like in Bedrock Edition. I gave him the explosion like in Bedrock Edition to make him just that much harder. And yeah, that's basically the whole mod or data pack so far. This is Devlog 1. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.